Two of the very top best programs that the IRS has to offer. One is the IRS Offer and Compromise, and the other one is the Currently Non-Collectible Status. I will be comparing both of these programs side by side in a head-to-head version. Which program is the better one? You might be surprised, because there's one key factor that I will be discussing later that holds a secret as far as which one is better for you. So my name is Sergio Melendez. I am an enrolled agent and Juris Doctorate. I have over 17 years experience, and I have resolved millions of dollars on behalf of my clients, and I have successfully resolved clients' accounts with both the Offer and Compromise and the non-collectible program. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. On one hand, we have the IRS Offer and Compromise. So if we compare the program itself, the Offer and Compromise completely eliminates your balances. How do we do this? When you make an offer to the IRS, it doesn't matter what the amount you do owe. So if you could owe $10,000, you could owe $100,000. If you offer the IRS $100, if they accept the $100, the rest is forgiven. It's down to zero. Now, what is non-collectible status? It's also a financial hardship. You have to prove you have financial hardship, that your income is less than your household expenses and you have no equity in assets. So the IRS grants you a financial hardship. Well, to put it in a better way, it's as if the IRS grants you an installment agreement of $0 per month. You do not have to repay the money. Although the balance does exist and the program might be temporary in nature because it's good for about 3 or 4 years. So between the program itself, on the surface, the Offer and Compromise seems like the better option. So that one wins on the merits of the program itself. Time frame. Let's take a look at the time frame. The IRS Offer and Compromise, that generally takes between 7 to 10 months. This is right now occurring with a lot of COVID delays. Although you might get lucky, some might slip through the cracks and it might go through a little bit before. However, with the IRS Offer and Compromise, you do get assigned an IRS agent and it could take up to 2 years. The non-collectible program, on the surface, the moment you make the request, it has to go to a manager and the manager generally approves or denies, but you get a decision made generally between 14 days to 21 days. So time frame wise, the non-collectible status wins. What forms are required? In order for you to do an IRS Offer and Compromise, it does require a lot of forms. You have to do the calculation, which is on the 433A OIC, and also you make the offer on the Form 656. Each of these forms are 8 pages long. In addition to that, every single thing that you're putting on there, such as proof of income, proof of expenses, you have to have the proof of it all, including certain other expenses, like if you have student loans, child support, court order debts, health insurance, life insurance, so on and so forth, all the substantiation. Now, the non-collectible, depending on the level of collections you're in, is the type of forms that could be filled in. So if you have a local collector known as a revenue officer, you have to fill out the form called the 433A. Now, it might be similar than the 433A OIC, but it's different. It's just a 433A. And you also have to provide substantiating documents such as proof of income, proof of expenses, proof of assets, all that, and so on and so forth. But if you don't have a local officer assigned, then you're dealing with the ACS Collections Department, and it's a 433F, which is 2 pages long. You may have to provide proof of income and expenses, so on and so forth. So for this one, because of document-wise, the non-collectible is a little easier, a little faster. If you're liking this video and you like this content, you could definitely support us by clicking like on this video and subscribe to our channel, because we definitely have more information coming your way. Now, the key factor that I'm talking about is something called the 10-year rule. What is the 10-year rule? Have you heard the saying that the IRS writes off millions and billions and gajillions of dollars to write it off? It's true. What they mean is that the moment that you owe the money to the IRS has only 10 years to collect from the moment that you do owe the money. Although throughout the 10 years, they're going to try to levy, they're going to try to garnish, they're going to try to file federal tax liens, do whatever in the power to try to collect before the 10 years is up. Nevertheless, the 10 years is called the collection statute expiration date, or we just call it CSED. That's right, CSED. And how does this hold the key? I'll show you a great example. Let's say you filed your income tax return back in 2012 for tax year 2011. So essentially, when it got processed, now the IRS has 10 years to collect as of 2012. So they have until 2022 to collect the balance. So if you're in 2021 and you only have 1 year left on the statute date, when you file an offer and compromise, you kind of put a stop on the time frame. And the IRS, in case it goes negative, in case it rejected, you're going to extend the time frame. Versus if you're negative on you're having financial hardship, you could request non-collectible status. It could get granted. And while you're in non-collectible status, the clock could still be ticking and the statute date might come and the balance will be written off down to zero for that 1 year. What if it's the opposite around? There are some things that were kind of fishy because of COVID-19. You filed your federal income tax, you cashed out on too much 401k, you name it. And all of a sudden now you have a balance due and you cannot afford to pay this at all. So now all of a sudden, let's pretend you have a $100,000 balance that you just filed. Guess what? The IRS has 10 years to collect on this balance. And so if you're kind of evaluating both programs and the IRS has a full 10 years to collect and you do qualify for both programs, the offer and compromise is the one that makes the better sense. So that's why it is a case-by-case basis and not necessarily because on the face, the offer and compromise might be better. It's better to evaluate both programs, including the one key factor that could be best for you. Now, in regards to aftercare, now, no matter what, the moment you request relief and you get granted any type of relief program, the one thing you're supposed to do is not file any type of taxes late and not have any new additional balances due. This is just called compliance moving forward. So when it comes to compliance, if you're on non-collectible status, if you have a new balance due, that new balance will get sent to collections and you have to make the request on that additional balance. More than likely, if you do get sent to collections, everything else may also fall into collections. So you have to redisclose all your financials and everything will get included into the non-collectible status. On the other hand, if you have an offer and compromise that has been approved and you got granted this, you have a 5-year probationary period where you have to remain in compliance. If you do not remain in compliance, the whole balances will come back. That's right, they all come back. So it's very strict. So on that aspect, the currently non-collectible status wins. And that sums up this video. So to sum it up, both of these are very great programs and the one that's the best program would depend on your particular case. So in conclusion, between both of these programs, you have to evaluate including all factors, including the key factor to see which one's best for you. Thank you for watching.